Hello, and welcome to the HelloID Provisioning Product Release video for July 2024. HelloID Provisioning is a 100% born in the cloud, easy to configure and maintain user provisioning solution. It helps organizations to fully automate the user lifecycle management by connecting the HR or SIS as a source system. Every change in this source is detected and processed into the network and your cloud applications. No more worries about stale user accounts, accumulation of licenses or access rights, manual user management, or compliancy issues. Please note that this video highlights only the new features in the July 2024 release. For more videos, visit docs.helloid.com or check out our YouTube channel. Let's dive in. We'll start with a PowerPoint presentation before moving on to demonstrate the new functionalities for the July 2024 release. In this release, we're excited to introduce one new feature: configure and enforce toxic combination based on permissions. Deny entitlements of a business rule if another or combination of other business rule entitlements are being assigned. In certain situations, we would like to configure which permission should overrule another if both of these permission entitlements are granted by the definition of a business rule. This situation could be caused when two or more unique entitlements being a part of multiple business rules, and based on the person contracts, the person eventually will end up in multiple business rules, having a result of two or more of the configured permissions being granted as a result. Let's dive in and explore the new feature. Before we begin, let's note that the governance module must be enabled for this feature. This release introduces the ability to configure and enforce toxic combinations of permissions. To set this up, navigate through the Business section and into Rules, where you'll find a new button labeled Toxic Policy. Clicking on this button will open a flyout window where the configuration is performed. For illustration, we'll demonstrate a scenario where a person is assigned multiple Office 365 licenses. For example, both an E1 and an E3 license during enforcement. This is considered toxic as you generally want to avoid assigning redundant licenses. First, create a new toxic combination within the policy. We'll name it Office 365 Toxic Combination. You can also add a description. For this setup, we need to specify input entitlements. Here, I will choose an E1 and an E3 license as inputs. When these entitlements are applied, the system decides to grant the configured output. We also need to configure what this output will be. You'll notice only two output options. This is because the outputs are dependent on the inputs. Since we define two inputs, only one can be the desired output. In this example, if a user is granted both an E1 and an E3 license, we would prefer the E3 license to be effective. This combination needs to be enabled to be applied during the next enforcement run. Note that you can have multiple combinations within a toxic policy without a specific order of precedence. The system automatically saves, so my policy now includes one combination within the toxic 365 Office combination. Now let's moving on to evaluation. After clearing the filter, we evaluate the results. Here we see two cases. First, meet Rolando. Rolando was set to receive an Office 365 E1 license based on business rules. However, this is denied because our toxic combination specifies denying the E1 and favoring the E3 license. Thus, you see that Rolando has an E3 license applied, conforming to our toxic policy. Next, we have Justin. Justin was initially assigned an E1 license, but it gets removed because he, too, has conflicting business rules involving both an E1 and an E3 license. Our policy specifies the E3 as the desired outcome, so the E1 is revoked. This enforcement is made possible by the toxic policy origin. When enforced, the E1 permission is revoked, and the E3 license is granted. We've also enhanced our filters to include or exclude denied states. By using this filter, the denied state won't reappear every time you reevaluate the report. As we conclude this overview of the latest HelloID release, we hope you're as excited as we are about these enhancements and new features. They're designed to streamline your experience, improve security, and ensure your system's integrity with advanced configurations and mappings. Stay tuned for more updates, and thank you for choosing HelloID for your identity and access management needs.